Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate that. If you don't, happy holidays. And if you don't celebrate anything right now, happy Sunday, because today is a great day regardless of the holiday. I am talking about good female rapping in the realm of K-pop. For the first time this year, besides Second World and besides Soyeon. I know! I can't believe it either. This came out like a month ago, I'm sure, and 99% of you know this, but it's XG, the Japanese group, their song Xypher, and the rap line of XG, I think even some singers in the group, got down, they did 4 separate verses, 2 instrumentals of Western hip-hop songs, and put their own spin on it. Did they write their own raps? I don't know. But I'm going to assume they did, because it makes it so much better. Now, again, technically, they're not K-pop. There's a huge debate going on, Are they part of the K-pop realm? Should we count them as a K-pop group because they perform on like Mnet and stuff? But at the same time, they're from Japan. They're from a Japanese company, and they do a lot of Japanese in their music with a little bit of Korean. Are they J-pop? Are they K-pop? Who knows? But we're going to talk about them today because I know a lot of you wanted me to discuss this. So here's what we're doing today, guys. On the screen, I actually dissected all 4 of their flows. And today, I am going to share with you guys, I did not mean to do that. I am going to share with you guys each of their flows and break them down and share you guys, rank them best flow to least best flow. None of them have bad flows, by the way. So it's like best flow to least bad flow. Let me just make sure I state this seriously enough. This is the best girl group rapping outside of Soyeon we have had in K-pop. If you include XG as K-pop. Essentially ever. This is so refreshing to hear a girl group do a Xypher. Whether you like XG or not, it's just so nice to actually have a girl group do a Xypher. We've wanted this for so long. I've wanted it for so long. So even though they're technically a J-pop group, some people consider it a J-pop group, I'm going to cover this. I broke down all their flows. We're going to go one by one, talk about each one, and I'll tell you guys my favorite ranking and then which one I think is the best flows ranking. So let's start off with the first one that we go through, Cocona. If you guys want to listen to this playthrough or any of them, I did all 4 flow breakdowns. Yeah, I was busy the past week. I sat down, transcribed all of their flows. Again, always take these with a grain of salt because I do them by ear, and I am not like I'm a YouTuber. I'm not like a actual professional transcriber that transcribes drumline music by ear. No, I'm a YouTuber who has 10 plus years of knowledge in rhythms and drumming, and I get it 99%. There's always a spot or two I'll get the cadence wrong, like specifically on Cocona. I just skipped over the cadence on one part because I was too lazy. Regardless, these are for the most part accurate with a grain of salt. So let's start off with Cocona, who has my personal favorite verse. I adore her verse. It is my favorite to listen to because it is a triplet-based flow. It is a very Lisa-esque flow. It is a Lisa, a Blackpink flow if Lisa was a top-tier rapper. Yeah, because Lisa, I say that because Lisa uses triplets a lot. Triplet is a very catchy flow. It is a very ear-grabbing flow, and I think that's why a lot of people like Cocona's rap. It is a very ear-grabbing. And while for the most part, it is a very simple flow, it is a triplet where she takes a rest to breathe every once in a while, and then throws in a few dotted 8th notes every once in a while. You can specifically see that throughout measures 1, 2, 3. It's just a straight triplet run with like a few pauses to breath, changes it up on the 4th bar. Measures 5, 6, 7, all triplets, and then measure 8 goes into a quarter note. Measure 9, 10, 11, all triplets. Measure 12 goes into an offbeat triplet with a 16th note surrounding it. Really cool. Then measures 13, 14, 15, all triplets, and finishes it off with a triplet on 16, but changes up the cadence at the end, but it's just a straight triplet run at the end. It is really cool, and let me just highlight these things for you. Again, you can check out this full thing. It sounds like this. It's really cool. Again, the link to my second channel, it's not CarKpop. I upload all of my flow breakdowns there because it'll get copyrighted if I play it in this video. But I uploaded all my flow breakdowns there, so you guys can go check them out. But the parts I want to point out. So the in general flow is this, right? I'll do the end. But in general, it's. And this isn't including the hooks that she did, by the way. This is just the rapping, because the C to the C. C to the O to the C-O-N-A, we popping up the 8-0, whatever it was, right? That's kind of like a hook. It's like a rap hook. I didn't transcribe that. I just did the verse, which is 16 bars, and the coolest part is bar 12 right here. Ready? This is the coolest part by far. She does an offbeat triplet. So fun to listen to. The entire thing is a very basic flow. Like, I say basic, it's more advanced than most K-pop flows, but compared to the other four that we're going to listen to, it is a very straightforward flow. But that 12th bar, she just throws in this very spicy offbeat triplet right here. It's so cool. It's so much fun. So that is Cocona's flow breakdown. It's mainly a triplet scheme, few dotted eighth notes, and a really cool 12th bar. Let's move into the second one, which was Maya. Now, Maya had by far the longest rap, the least amount of like hook parts, because all three of the other ones had a good amount of hook to their Xypher part, like the C to the C to the O to the C-O-N-A, C to the O to the C-O-N-A, popping on the 808, whatever it was, right? That's like a rap hook, right? Maya really didn't have any until the very end. The last like 4 bars were like a little mini hook, right? Maya just went straight rap. You could argue that the first 8 bars kind of were, but I went with like an intro rap. So with Maya's, the first 8 bars are very simple. It's just eighth notes and quarter notes, rhyming at the end, very simple with one spicy cadence right here at the fifth measure, where she doesn't do the normal cadence she had been doing. She pushes it one back to put a dotted quarter note in there. Super fun. I mean, just normally, if it was just that, this would be the worst flow of them all. But if you look farther down when she gets into the actual spiciness of the rapping, it gets so much crazier. Maya has so much crazy stuff going on in this while enunciating like crazy. She has a very good enunciation like this. She makes every single word that she does very, very clear, which I really do appreciate. But Maya did really well. She had a Down Bad beat by JID and Dreamville, which I love. I do like Jongseob's just a slightly bit more, but after transcribing Maya's, I have so much more respect for it because there's so many cool parts in here. Not only is she playing with triplets like Cocona did, which you can see in measures 15 right here. She's playing with triplets right here, right? Right? But then at the same time, she goes back into this eighth note, dotted eighth note, the 16th note. And then even mixes in that little hook part of the song. If you don't know the original Down Bad by Dreamville, the hook is like, da-na-na-na-na-na, but they going down, down bad. She throws it and makes it into a dotted eighth note. And she just like constantly keeps diving back to that cadence all throughout the song. Like this is like the hook, if you get, I guess like the hook of the rap, the repeated part of the rap where she does it multiple times. And then she does it again here, right? The down, down, down bad. Pulls up that same flow. She's constantly going back to that hook of that song, the down, down, down bad. She's going back to that cadence and she has it spliced in all over this song. She has it right here. Down, down, down bad. She has this like dotted eighth note, eighth note cadence all throughout, all spliced in different parts, which makes it so much fun to me because she keeps calling back to that same down, down, down bad, which is the name of the song, right? That's the hook, and she keeps calling back to that, and I love seeing that. So Maya's is really, really cool. And then ends with like a nice 16th note, almost 16th note run, just shy of a run. But yeah, she ends with a nice speedy, which I wasn't expecting, but she climaxes it really well. She has all this choppy, right? Very choppy, spacious flows, like, right? And then she comes at the end of bar 32 and just like straight up, straight up a 16th almost run. Very fun to listen to. Then we have Harvey, who I personally, I'm spoiling my rankings. She's my least favorite. I do not like her delivery. I was not looking forward to transcribing it. I thought it would be so boring, and boy was I wrong. Harvey actually has a pretty interesting flow. She has 24 bars, which I believe is the second most. Yeah, Jurin and Cocona have 16. Harvey has 24 bars, and Maya has 32 bars. So Harvey, out after that first intro hook that she does, she goes into this and she just kind of mixes a very boring flow with a very spicy cadence. And when you mix them together, you get a really interesting mix. Because the overall flow of it is basically just eighth notes into quarter notes with some like doubled 16ths in there. So it's like da 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 da. That's essentially like the basis of the flow for the most part. But, you know, some words are more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 syllables long, right? So you need to add some extra things. So instead of like extending the bar, she adds in the little double part. So da 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 da. Instead da 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 to add in those extra syllables. And when she does that, those extra syllables will make this spicy cadence of dotted eighth notes to eighth notes. Kind of like what Maya did, but a little bit more intense. And you get that example with bar 11, I think, really well. And she keeps going back to it over and over. Now I don't pick and choose, just don't improve, they stay the same energy. Very like right? Very fun. She has this really interesting triplet flow on bar 7 that I love listening to. It's a triplet, but she like stops on the third triplet, so it's like an eighth note, the quarter note in the triplet. So it's like this. Especially when she adds that double timed cadence to it, because normally a triplet you have that cadence 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. You get that feel of that every 3, but she has it every other note in a triplet. So 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, which it spices it up. And because she's not doing that third one, it makes it kind of sound very like she's like kind of cutting it short. I love that 7th bar flow as well. But again, the main point here is the cadence on bar 11 that she comes back to on bar 15, that she comes back to on bar 13, that she hinted at bar 3 and bar 1 and bar 10. She keeps hinting at it over and over and over, and she keeps revisiting this flow, and she even picks it up here at the end of bar 22 and bar 23. And bar 22 and bar 23 are really cool because she's mixing triplets and 16ths. It's kind of like what Soyeon did in Dark X-File, but much less of a degree. She's not concentrating on that, but she kind of does it to the same, a little bit of the same effect, but not nearly to the like mind-blowing effect Soyeon did in that song. So it's like faster into slower. It's like she slows down halfway through the bar, so it feels like she's pulling that the rhythm down. She feels like she's slowing the rhythm down artificially when she's not. It's still the same BPM, but the going from a triple 16th into a triplet. So it sounds like she's slowing down, but it's just a different rhythm. Really cool. And then she finishes it off with a triplet run, which is a very big pattern. They all finish it off with just like almost a run. 3 triplets, quarter note. 4 16ths or 3 16ths, quarter note. Or eighth notes. 3 triplets with a little spiced up triplet here. Like they all finish it with like a run at the end. But let's dive into Jurin of XG's rap flow now. So she was the final one to go, and she has the heaviest cadence of them all. Jurin felt like she was like, I'm saying like I'm Korean, like it's Korean, but she's Japanese, right? So Jurin? I don't know. Jurin, please correct me in the comments, but she likes to emphasize a lot, especially in the first half of this flow. She is emphasizing like almost every eighth note, and to the point where right here she's emphasizing almost everything's rhyming, so she's almost emphasizing everything. It's very intense. It's very aggressive, which goes well with the beat too. But yeah, this first half, it's a very RM-esque flow. Think of RM Xypher 2, old RM, but without the spiciness that RM would put on it. It is a straight up like 16th, 8th notes, that's it. 16th, 8th, how many different combinations can she make? And she made a lot of different combinations, but then she also put that aggressive cadence on it. The cadencing everything. So if you like aggression and like, you know, basically the rappers in your face, that's what this is doing. And it's really fun to listen to. I'ma go get him. Like, very aggressive, very aggressive. And then the second half, she like, you know, gets less aggressive. She pulls it back a little bit, as you can notice right here. Very pulled back. It's much more soft. You can hear that because she's pulling off of the cadence and not doing it nearly as much. And then she finally comes back and climaxes it again in bar 14 at the very end. that little cadence on the 16th right there is so da 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 da. Very fun. Eighth, eighth, dotted eighth, dotted eighth, eighth, eighth. I guess it's quarter at the end, but still very fun ending. And she is the one unique one that doesn't end with like the same flow or 16th triplet, etc., etc. Anyways, so I spent a long time talking about this because it is really, really cool. Let me actually rank them now. So my favorite ranking, because it's different than which ones flow-wise I think are the best. If I was to rank them in order of my favorites, Cocona is number one. I just love triplet flows. I'm a sucker for them. And I think she pulls it off really well. That's why I've also had a soft spot for Lisa my entire K-pop listening history, because I love the triplet flows that she tends to do. Then number two for me is Maya. I really love how Maya's I love how Maya enunciates and sounds throughout this entire thing. It's very powerful, and even when you throw in like the triplets mixed with the eighth notes and 16ths. It's really fun to listen to the triplets just spliced into the 16th and 8th. It's such a fun relationship that she has with the cadence of dotted eighth notes onto the triplets. Very fun overall. Then number three for me is Jurin of the Xypher, the fourth one. Very straightforward flow-wise. I do love the aggressiveness behind it, but it's just missing like a slight thing for me to absolutely love it, personally. And then my least favorite was Harvey. I'm not a huge fan of her delivery. It really distracts me. Like, I didn't even know how cool this flow was until I actually broke it down, because her delivery just kind of took me out of listening to what she's doing flow-wise. And yeah, so it really took me breaking this down to have actual respect for her verse. I really thought she was by far the weakest link, but actually breaking down the flow, it's just because of her delivery. It really distracted me from like knowing what she's actually doing. So now let's get into the actual ranking of their flows, what most people are waiting for. I would suppose that's the point of this video, right? Who has the best flow objectively, in my opinion. I'm going to start off with 4 and go to 1. While Cocona is my absolute favorite, and she has a very spicy area on measure 12, she is the most simple by far, and I think she has the weakest overall flow. It is very baseline triplet heavy flow, which a lot of people tend to rely on now. And while I love the sound of it and the sound of her doing it, it is the most simple of the flows. Number 2 is Jurin for me. I love the aggressiveness and the cadence, but overall it is a very easy to pull off once you do it a few times. I feel like there isn't any complexity to it. It's just not repetitive, right? There's a lot of mixing and matching, and it's not repetitive at all. But there's not a single part where I'm like, oh, look at that measure, that flow, that one measure, right? And so like even when RM did this type of thing back in 2015, 2014, like he would always have these measures where it's like that one quintuplet, like, oh, he threw a quintuplet in there. You'd have these one bar in the measure with the spicy thing, and Jurin didn't really have any of that. So while it is not repetitive at all, I do have to dock it a little bit for not having anything that's very out of the ordinary on it, like even Cocona had. Number 2 for me is Harvey. Now, she had a lot of really fun stuff. She has this like relationship between the triplets and 16s that I'm going to talk about soon, and this cadence she kept going back to. It is a really fun listening to like as I talked about, the 16s into the triplets, and it is a much cooler flow than I had originally thought. But I don't think it's number 1. And the only reason for that is because there are a lot of simplicity stuff too. She has some of the most simple flows as well. I don't know if anyone else besides who I'm about to talk about has parts where the entire measure is just a simple eighth note, quarter note cadence. Yeah, Cocona definitely doesn't have it, and I don't even think Maya does. She always has a 16 spliced in. So Harvey has by far the weakest. Like, she has the low of the lows, but she's very spread out. She has some really high points too, like that ending for measure 19 through 24. Very fun triplets to 16ths plays. That cadence that she carries throughout the entire thing. Down, 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 bad. That cadence is so much fun, especially the different ways that she puts it in over top. The same flow right here, but she puts it in differently right here. This is a different flow with that same cadence. So really fun to listen to it. But number 1, the best flow, in my opinion, is Maya. Maya, because while she does have these very simple opening, she contrasts it perfectly with the ending. which ends with the theme of her rap, which is a very intricate, non-repetitive thing with intricacies like measure intricacies like the measure before 22, measure 27, all these fun intricacies that she has. Measure 26, very fun, and she finishes it off though with this very which contrasts really well with the opening. Contrasts really well. But then all throughout the middle, she's playing with triplets. She has some triplet runs. She has some dotted eighth notes. She has that same kind of cadence at points that Harvey has, but also expands on it more. She has some random triplets thrown in, comparing it to a triple eighth note, like on measure 25, which is a really fun underdog part. It's that part. If you know it off the top of your head, this part. Very fun relationship between the two and the way she like contrasts that. And just overall, just a very intense verse, but all non-repetitive like Jurin had. Lots of triplets like Cocona had. Lots of randomness like Harvey had, but with a consistent overall theme. But then on top of that, she includes what everyone did, and she has an overall climax to her verse for the relationship from the beginning to the end. And that's why I think Maya had the best flow overall. Cocona had the weakest. Cocona's wasn't bad, by the way. Again, I love all four. Cocona's is my personal favorite, but specifically the rhythm of the rap flow-wise, Maya wins for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little breakdown of XG's Xypher. This took a lot of work, a lot of time putting into this, guys. If you want to help me out, support me on Patreon. If you have the spare means to do so, I would really appreciate it. Link is in the description. Or you could just subscribe and like the video, and that would do just as much. All these kind people right here have already been here and are on Patreon to see all my reactions and everything and see videos early. So if you want to see that, please check it out. But if you don't, come join us in Discord. You can still be part of our community for absolutely no cost, just to be part of our community. It's so much fun. Come join us on Twitch streams, twitch.tv/CarKpop. We're going to start grading 2023 comebacks. I hope I can see you there. And yeah, if you like the video, please like it, subscribe, leave a comment what you guys think, who your favorite XG raps are. And yeah, with that being said, thank you all for watching. Thank you again, my Patreons right here. Shout out to you guys at the end of the video this time. I normally put it in front, but this time you guys are at the end. I hope it's okay. And yeah, until next time, K-pop and chill the safe way. See you, everyone.